My name is Joseph VanBlarcom, and I graduated Loving Hands Ministries in 1987. I spent about 8 years on staff back in the 80s and 90s, and currently on staff now. Brought me to Loving Hands. I was in my childhood was spent mostly in orphanages and foster homes, and passed around between family members. And by the time I was a teenager, I was homeless in New York City, and through a cold winter wound up in the streets of Florida. Just through a series of miracles, wound up through a pastor on the doorsteps of Loving Hands Ministries. Loving Hands Ministries has completely changed my life. I mean, because again, I was kind of a lost little boy at 18 looking for something in life. Didn't really have a church background, didn't know who God or Jesus was. And Loving Hands Ministries introduced me to my Savior, my Creator. And then in addition to that, Wendell and Nancy Wilson and the Wilson family became my family. I mean, they sort of adopted me. So it's changed my life completely. So in 1992, I had been on staff for somewhere around 8 years. I was the assistant executive director at that point, and Teen Challenge, Jerry Nance, who was then over the Florida Teen Challenge, had recruited myself and a man named Dave Batty, and we started the Jacksonville Teen Challenge Center that is there today. After we had got that center up and running, God kind of took me down a different path, and I went to the police academy in Jacksonville and spent, including my years on reserves, I spent about 14 years in law enforcement before taking an early retirement to come back to Loving Hands on staff. And in the midst of my law enforcement career in 2006, I was admitted to the Florida bar as an attorney, and have practiced all kinds of law, from elder law to bankruptcy to criminal and family to all kinds of things. And now God uses that for the benefit of Loving Hands Ministries. Currently, since September of 2016, I came back to Loving Hands to serve as the administrative director and general counsel. So, you know, that's my formal position, but I've served in a lot of different roles, helped advance the cause of starting our South Florida Center, helped with the different centers in Palmetto and Dade City. I've carried on the legacy of traveling with our president to India and being involved in the ministry that we have overseas there. And right now, outside of the administration work, looking to start the location in Georgia. So I'm very blessed to be married to my beautiful wife, Pamela VanBlarcom. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, and together we have 3 grown children, and our oldest has given us 2 beautiful grandchildren, a 2-year-old grandson and a 2-month-old granddaughter. And we are just so blessed by God to be serving with Loving Hands Ministries and a part of the Loving Hands Ministries family, carrying on the legacy of Wendell and Nancy Wilson. Proverbs 19:21, many are the plans of a man's heart, but the purposes of the Lord shall prevail.